When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.
Hey, welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing those stories to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, this is the greatest job on earth. It doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, you can carve out an amazing life in sales. Today's guest, no stranger to the journey, I'd like to welcome Andrew Lamppa to the show. How are you today?
Drewbie, I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm crushing the day. Thank you for asking, man. I'm excited. I want to jump right in. I want to hear your craziest sales story.
Okay, I think I got a good one here. So I created a sale with a YouTube video with 0 views on it, or 1 view. This is the guy that I talked to. He was the only view on this YouTube video. I'm gonna share a little bit of the details. So, and I shared this with my community earlier today, actually. And my mentor said he's never heard of anyone creating a client from a single view YouTube video. So a little while ago, I had a calendar appointment come on my calendar. Guy I'd never heard of. He's from a different state, and I was like, man, where did he come from? Got on the call. First question was, so how'd you hear about me? And he's like, YouTube. And I was like, I didn't shy away from my surprise. I was thinking maybe LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, but YouTube wasn't one that I was thinking. And I was like, I'm shocked because I have like 6 videos on YouTube right now, and I do very little content on there. So I was like, tell me more. And he's like, well, it is interesting because I talked to my wife this morning, and she said, what does your day look like? And he's like, well, I'm talking to a coach later today about employee compensation. And she said, how'd you find him? He said, YouTube. And so she went on and looked at the video that he watched, and she was like, dude, he's had 1 view on this video, and you're it. You're the view. I'm a little suspect of you hopping on this call. And he was like, you know what? I booked the call. Seems like a legit guy. We'll see what happens. And lo and behold, he showed up on the call, and we had a couple coaching calls, and we created a client out. So I think it's obviously renewed my desire to start creating more YouTube content and just realizing the power. And the weird thing is, I don't know what the algorithm at YouTube said when he typed in whatever he searched that said, you know what, we have this video, it's never been viewed before, but this video right here, this is the video that we're going to show him that's going to really rock his world. But for some reason, YouTube did it. He liked it, booked a call, and the rest is history.
God always playing with the algorithm, man. Everything happens for a reason. And I love this story for so many reasons. But I want to touch on the fact that I really love the 1 view turned into something. And the reminder for everyone listening right now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, because we do these on YouTube too, right? We're everywhere. You don't have to have millions of views to become successful. And I think so many people get caught up in the vanity of virality and chasing those large numbers and views, forgetting the fact that you have somebody in your circle right now that desperately needs your help, and you're too worried about all the other people who could care less.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love the thought of someone seeing a YouTube video with, 6 videos on the channel and still saying, hey, this guy provided me the information I needed in this moment, and I'm ready to take the next step. So talk to me a little bit about that, because I think creating content for people when they're stuck in those moments is what most people are missing in the sense of like how they're putting themselves out there.
I think of it as a distinction. My mentor used the lighthouse distinction, where your only job as the lighthouse keeper is to just keep that light on. And whatever, there's a very specific person that needs that light. It's the captains of the boats that are driving by at night. And if you know what they're looking for, they want to know where the shoreline is. And so they don't, whatever it's called, you just keep the light on. So when creating content, go deep, go narrow on that niche. Figure out what's that one thing that someone may be struggling with that you've hopefully had experience with, know how to solve, and create some content around it. Clearly, from the evidence that I've been experienced, it takes very little for Google or YouTube to say, here's a good match. So I think we have an idea of what people are looking for based on the problems we've already solved for them, for others in our past. If we can get very narrow and say, here's a problem that I solved, I'm going to create a single video, I'm going to create 5 videos all around this one. It can be the most unique, low tail or long tail problem out there. But if one's had it, someone else has it. And if that other person sees how you solved it or how you can make an impact on it, that's a pretty easy win in a short gap from where they are to listening to your video, watching your video, and booking a call.
Yeah, that's so true. And I will say from my own personal experience along the way, creating that content, making those videos, it's just like, hey, we all use this same tool and I figured out how to do this cool thing with it. If you guys want to check it out, here's what I'm doing. And just creating those kinds of videos led me to so much opportunity in my life. And what's funny about that is, like, when we look at ourselves from a third party perspective, when we're consuming content, those of us who are entrepreneurs and business owners, right, that are, if you're listening to this, you're our people. That's why you're here. But we're looking at the stuff that's like, hey, what are you doing with something that I do or use? And what are you doing differently? Because, like, we're always looking for what's that 1% edge? What's that little differentiator? And I love the idea of, like, what you said is like, hey, man, I'm just going to go in and just create content about this thing and just tell people how I do it. And if they like it, cool. If they don't like it, well, then I'll have 0 views on my video until the right person comes through at the right time. And I just happen to have the right information for where they are. And so, tell me a little bit more about how you ended up in the position that you're in, man, because people don't get to working with others without having been through some stuff along the way.
So my story, I owned a restaurant for a majority of my adult life and really got a master's of small business ownership during that time. Restaurants they're a tough industry. They are cutthroat. Their margins are razor thin. And I bought it right out of college, which I was way too young to be doing that. I had no restaurant experience. And really through fire and brimstone, I figured it out. But it took a long time. But in the end, I was able to build a 7-figure business. We had 25 employees, and we did a lot of work on positioning, what people think about when they think about your brand. I differentiated my brand versus the other breakfast and lunch restaurants in the area. And we built a very loyal crowd that built the restaurant to a point where I could sell it. And I was able to sell it in 2018, a little bit before COVID came. I would have
Great timing.
Struggled during COVID. Yeah.
That's great timing, man. Let's just be honest. God was watching out on that one.
Absolutely. So really looking at, there are challenges that the restaurant industry faces. You don't know, you only hear the bad from a customer perspective. You only, occasionally get a good Yelp, but if you screw up, you're going to hear about it a lot, or they just won't keep coming back to the restaurant. It's a manufacturing business. It's a customer service business. There is a lot of different aspects of business all rolled in this one perfect little storm called a restaurant. So I think going through that, having to pretty much throw every possible idea against the wall, see what worked, see what didn't. Open hours, close hours, open days, close days, menu changes, staff changes, brand changes, location changes. I did all of these things in this little petri dish of an experiment called my restaurant. So that really gave me the background and the depth of knowledge of leading small teams and, like I said, positioning, brand positioning, differentiation. That's really served me in this next career that I have.
I love that. I want to go deeper on the brand positioning because I've always had this internal inkling that branding is a very important part of the process. And over the years, I've had some mentors and people that are like, the brand doesn't matter, have a great product. Like, you can slap any crappy brand on a good product and it'll sell. And I don't disagree with them. However, I've always just had this internal belief that branding starts at like an emotional core level for people. Like when you support a brand, it's like a football team, or you either drink Coke or you drink Pepsi. There's really no in between, right? And those of us are willing to drink one or the other. We still prefer the one every single time when we can.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit more about how you separated yourself, right? It sounds like you kind of had breakfast, lunch spot. Those are pretty common in the small mom and pop restaurant business industry.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you set yourself apart from everybody else? Like, what took you down that path?
Yeah. So when I bought it, it was a very generic breakfast and lunch. People wouldn't stick around for 5 minutes on the weekend, which just killed me but there was a Denny's near, there was an IHOP nearby. And so we had no collateral, we had loyalty, but once again, people were very willing to swap my eggs and toast for someone else's eggs and toast. 7, 8 years into it, I was like, we keep serving this very generic freezer to fryer food, and this doesn't align with how we eat at home and what I'm really proud to serve. So we went through a year-long process of really rebuilding our product line, and we got very clear on a few things. We removed all artificial colors and flavors, and so we tend to eat a little healthier on the healthy side. And it was an area that I was like, we have 350 SKUs that we order from Cisco and Gordon Foods and Costco and stuff. Let's go through every one of those and categorically remove all of those things, because now we can market that. We can say, we don't have a single menu item that has any artificial colors and flavors across our soda line, everything. So that was creating some very strong boundaries and distinctions, helped us establish a more powerful position. So we did that. We started looking at how do we eat? We eat a lot more organic stuff. We eat, at the time we were going this, we were doing some gluten-free stuff because we were struggling to get pregnant. We heard that gluten sometimes hurts the pregnancy process. So we were gluten-free, and we were going out like, man, gluten-free breakfast is really hard to find. And so we shifted from this generic family restaurant to a better for you restaurant that still served what people were looking for in breakfast. I talked to a vegan friend, and he's like, I don't want a kale smoothie every morning for breakfast. I want vegan pancakes. I want the things that you eat. I just want them veganized. And so we established, we changed it from it was called the 44th Street Diner. We changed it to Noble Restaurant because we thought we were doing something noble. And we positioned it, and not just from a marketing perspective, but internally, we aligned it with what we would be proud of. And I pissed off a lot of customers when I did that. There were a lot of people that just wanted their burnt toast and runny eggs, and they would see the word organic and flip out. But it was like, those aren't my people anymore. They can go to the restaurant down the road. We were going after the people that would align with what we were doing. And so after a little dip, we started to grow, and we grew like crazy. And my marketing around that was, I only use text message marketing. I posted occasionally on Facebook, but for a restaurant, man, text message marketing was bread and butter. And what I did, it was a 3-part text every week. I would put my name. So even if they saw the message and didn't look at it again, they'd see my name. So they saw my name in their phone every single week. Then the second part was something unique about what we're doing. Either, hey, did you know our chicken strips are gluten-free? Did you know our sodas have no high fructose corn syrup? Did you know, and every week I would hit them with something new that helped us position ourselves as a healthier alternative compared to regular food. And then I would give a small offer, $1 off a coffee or something like that, just to drive a little traffic. But I did that for, I think, a year or two. And it's so interesting. If you would go to Yelp or other online sites, you could type in, and we're a suburb of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you type in vegan breakfast Grand Rapids, and there'd be 20 listings. 19 of them would be in Grand Rapids proper, and there'd be one little listing, my restaurant in the suburbs, number like 3 or 2, that would show up. So with the effort we did to be what we wanted to be and then communicate it, we started to become that thing from the customer's perspective. So when they thought of Noble Restaurant, they were now thinking super celiac friendly, tons of vegan options, better for you. And we would start getting reviews like, they're farm to table, which we weren't, but the customer's perspective of us was getting higher than we had intended, which caused us to level up our game and say, shoot, people are thinking we're here, we're still here. What can we continue to do to match the perception that the community has? And it was amazing. I mean, we went from a place that someone wouldn't wait 5 minutes to having a 90-minute, 120-minute wait times on the weekends. And we grew like gangbusters because we figured out what people wanted, even though there was risk. I had a friend say, don't go vegan. You're not in the right part of town, because we were in more of a blue collar town. But I went all in, and it worked very well. But we knew who we were. We believed in it. We were actually being it. We weren't just pretending to be it or marketing it. And then we solely marketed that one position. So when people thought of Noble Restaurant, their only choice was to think of what we gave them to think about. And that's what's so powerful. And I think business owners don't realize that if someone knows of your brand, they think of something as your brand. Call the damn leads. I have a thought. I have one thought that rises to the surface when I hear that name. BMW, McDonald's, whatever it is, we have one thought. And it's not the customer's responsibility to figure out what that thought is. It's the brand's responsibility to persuade, convince, position the business for them to think that. And it's such a missed opportunity for small business owners that they have so much ability to position their brand. And I think a lot don't take advantage of it.
That was a masterclass, like chef's kiss on that, my friend. That was so good. And I hope those of you that are here go back and listen to that a couple times, because there's a few key points that are really important there. One, they got in alignment with who they were behind the scenes and brought that to the public. Even though they knew it was going to create friction, even though he knew there was going to be some lost customer base, he was willing to take that risk and bring alignment. And I promise you, there's some of you out there right now selling a product that you don't necessarily believe in, and it's killing your success. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be scary to walk away from it because it's comfortable and it's what you know. But when you get clarity and alignment on who you are and what you truly want to represent, the passion and the energy that will come out of you, it's insane. And one thing I really like that you kind of said is, like, we understood that our family was going through a season where we needed a very specific diet in order to achieve our goals, right? And so that was just something you kind of became aware of, and that made you aware of other people that needed that same sort of situation. And one thing I learned from Frank Kern early on, and one of my mentors, was like, one call, one problem, one solution. And it was like, anybody who thought of your restaurant knew that if they had dietary restrictions, they could come see you and you had something for them.
It's so interesting you pulled that out, because that was our whole vision, was that every customer, regardless of soy, celiac, gluten, dairy, vegan, whatever it is, there would be something on the breakfast side and something on the lunch side that they could get that wouldn't just be a grocery store frozen product, but actually something that was made in our kitchen. And so we tried to create the most welcoming environment. If you just wanted steak and eggs, we had that. If you wanted vegan stuffed French toast, we had that. We made sure everyone had, like you just said, I don't know how you pulled that out, but at least there was one thing for breakfast and lunch that everyone could enjoy.
I love that. And, we could probably nerd out on this topic for many, many hours about branding and growth and service. And man, I know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. So how do we find you, follow you, check out more of your content?
Yes. So Built to Benefit is my brand. All the socials that's going to be my handle, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. And that's how you can engage with me.
I love it, man. We will definitely put that stuff in the show notes. I'll be checking you guys out. I'm sad that I never had the opportunity to visit the restaurant and we, got to see this. But hey, I know that this is a good reminder for all of you out there in the service business, whether it's restaurant and beverage, whether it's home services, anything you're doing where you're working with clients, build a brand that makes you top of mind. And so, Andrew, thank you again, man. This has been an absolute blast.
Drew, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, you guys know what to do. If you enjoyed the show, send it out on social media. Tag me, tag Andrew. Let us know that you got some value out of this. Maybe you know somebody who owns a restaurant and they kind of suck. Like, they're struggling a little bit. Send them this episode. You don't have to tell them they suck. If they get to this point and they realize this is what happened, like, thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate you. But spread the message, man. This has been filled with absolute gems. And the only way to help more people is for you to go out and send it to someone you know who needs it. So please do that. And if you have a story that you want to tell, maybe you've got some crazy thing that you did that you went all in on and it absolutely changed your life, I want to have you on the show. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your details. We'll get you scheduled in. While you're there, grab a hat, grab a sweatshirt, keychain, book, something to support the show. Because you know what to do now. Pick up the phone. Call the damn leads. We'll see you guys next time.
When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind that speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.